Good evening and thanks for joining us. The District Health Unit confirms they're seeing an increase in bed bug infestations in Thunder Bay. There were just 7 confirmed cases in 2011. That number rose to 30 cases in 2012. And so far this year, there have been 47. Public Health Inspector Ettrick Blackburn says the first step is identifying the problem.
Little things that you look for. The bug looks like an apple seed. Second thing is that you want to know how the bug behave once it gets in your home. So they tend to want to be around on your bed, in lamps, laptops, that kind of stuff. They be in furniture, but mainly they're usually in your bed, in the box springs, that kind of stuff.
The bed bugs have been found in local apartment complexes, at Lakehead University residences, and in private homes. Blackburn says there are several reasons for the increase, including greater public awareness, which leads to more calls to the health unit. The other factor is a ban on stronger pesticides. According to Blackburn, the new safer pesticides are not as effective in wiping out an entire infestation, including the eggs.
We don't want the public to panic. We want people to continue life as usual. But just be aware again, you know, if you suspect you have bed bug, you want to identify it first and foremost. Yes, it is a bed bug. Then you know, there's lots of resources. You know, call the health unit. We'll help you go through the process and, you know, give you a resource or direct you as to how to deal with it. If the infestation is extremely severe, then you want to get a hold of a pest control operator and work with them. And there are little tidbits that
Blackburn says the arrival of winter will provide another solution. A mattress left outside in minus 20 degrees Celsius weather will kill all the bed bugs within a week or so. Well, a CN train carrying gas and oil derailed overnight. 13 cars came off the tracks, causing an explosion and fire. It happened about 80 kilometers west of Edmonton near the small community of Gainford. The threat of another explosion has prompted an evacuation order. Terry Reith has the details.
It was 1 in the morning when residents in the village of Gainford, Alberta, woke to the sound of an explosion. 13 cars on the CN train derailed, 9 carrying liquefied petroleum gas, 4 carrying crude oil. At least 3 cars containing the gas caught fire. Within minutes, thick black smoke filled the air.
My son, where he's living, they heard it and they saw the fire.
Remarkably, no one has been injured. But fearing another explosion, officials have sent about 100 residents of Gainford and the surrounding area to an evacuation center.
The area has been evacuated. All personnel are accounted for, all residents. We're keeping the area clear of everybody for about a mile radius around the incident.
CN says dozens of emergency workers are on the scene.
CN has deployed a team of emergency responders from our safety, environment, risk management, operations, and other forces. And we also have senior CN safety and operations executives on site.
Based on what we've been able to see from the air, it does not appear that any of the oil tankers have ruptured. The big problem right now is Highway 16, the Yellowhead Highway. The main route between Jasper and Edmonton is completely shut down, as is all rail traffic between Edmonton and Jasper, and that includes Via Rail services. And both of these main transportation routes could be shut down for some time to come. Terry Reith, CBC News, near Gainford, Alberta.
Local rural businesses gathered near Quebec today to hold their second annual expo. Last year, the expo was held a week after the May 28th flooding, and attendance numbers suffered. This year is a different story. With a packed house of rural businesses, a massage booth, and a face painting station, the expo was set to roll. Residents and community members strolled in throughout the day to check out local cosmetics, crafts, and even solar-powered scooters. Some businesses also use the time to meet with other companies.
I have a few that have come to me and said this is the first year they're in business, and they were very excited about meeting the public. And not just the public, but each other. There's been a lot of intercommunications with one business to the other, so that's terrific.
All the businesses hope that the event grows larger next year and continues into the future. Ontario's minimum wage could soon be on the rise following a 3-year freeze. The new proposal would see minimum wage hiked every 2 years to benefit employees and help businesses. For our question of the day, we asked if you think the wage hike is a good idea.
Yes.
Why is that? Why do you say that?
Because I worked for $1.50 a month years ago. And I think at this day and age, the money should be higher.
No, I don't think so, really. I think it should be, it's pretty good the way it is now. What is it, $9 and something?
I think it's $10, yeah.
$10, yeah. I think that's, when I started, it was only about $5, 5 cents. So it was. So I think that's, I don't think they need to raise it anymore right now.
Yeah, it should.
Why do you say that?
Well, I think the way it is right now is not enough for people to, to make do on with the prices going up for groceries and everything else. Yeah, it'd be better to raise it up.
Yes, I think that'd be really good compared to the wage that it's at now. It would benefit for just people to pay their bills and so on and so forth. So I think that's good.
I think that's awfully high because if it goes to that level of $14, everything else will have to go up in price too.
It's a milestone in delivering education to students of Long Lake 58 First Nation. After roughly a year of construction on the community's elementary schools, classrooms will soon be open to high school students. There's excitement in the air as completion draws near. Students had previously spent years traveling to another First Nation for class. They then spent a year in portables after that. Nate Jones has more.
It's a $3.8 million project that will help to change the lives of many young people on Long Lake 58 Reserve. Currently, there are 52 secondary students in portables on the school grounds. That number is expected to grow as administration plans to target those who previously left the education system.
Having our secondary school right here on the reserve is means progress, and education as Long Lake 58 continues to promote is very important.
The instruction at the facility will be unique as there will be a strong focus on skilled trades training. A projected shortage of tradespeople across the country and in the Northwest is the driver behind this focus. Another factor is the upcoming mining boom in the Ring of Fire.
What's significant about the school is that we're going to have shops now, and like we're going to have welding, we're going to have woodworking, mechanical. We also put a mining course into the curriculum to help what's going on up the north.
The Director of Education says having this facility is a unique experience for a First Nations community. And besides the new programs and classrooms, a significant expansion of the gym will bring new opportunities for both elementary and secondary students.
We're probably one of very few First Nations in Ontario that will have a high school. This particular high school has a regulation-sized gymnasium, which means that we can actually have provincial playdowns here.
With no provincial or federal funds being allocated to the project, Long Lake First Nation is taking care of its own and creating employment potential in their young people. Students hope to move in the first week of November. Nate Jones, TBT News.
The issue of energy transportation is in the spotlight in Toronto, where a hearing into controversial oil pipelines between Montreal and southwestern Ontario was shut down today because of security concerns. As Artie Pohl now tells us, that didn't stop hundreds of protesters from taking their message to the streets.
Shutting the door on protesters didn't silence them. The anti-pipeline rally planned for today went ahead, with more than 500 protesters marching through downtown Toronto.
This shows a level of dedication to stopping this that we think is important to demonstrate.
The goal is to stop proposed changes to Enbridge's Line 9. The 639-kilometer pipeline runs between Sarnia and Montreal. It transports 240,000 barrels of crude oil every day. Enbridge is proposing to reverse the flow to carry oil from west to east, which will include bitumen. They also want to increase the pipeline's capacity by 25%. The National Energy Board has been holding hearings on the proposal throughout the week.
The board's mandate is to protect the environment, but also to protect the people who live and work in the vicinity of in this case, a pipeline infrastructure.
Protesters say the changes would put First Nations communities at risk and threaten water supplies.
Bitumen is extremely unsafe in a spill. It sinks in waterways and it creates a poisonous gas.
They point to a rupture in an Enbridge pipeline in 2010. It leaked millions of liters of oil into the Kalamazoo River in Michigan. But Enbridge says Line 9 is safe.
This pipeline has an excellent safety record, and it does for a reason. It's because it's been well monitored and maintained since its installation, and safety is our absolute #1 priority.
Enbridge was scheduled to appear at the hearing today, but protests last night stopped that. NEB and Enbridge staff were escorted out by security. Some of the protesters here today have little faith in the process at all, and they consider the suspension of the hearings to be a victory.
Enbridge was too scared to be able to present. Shows that our dissent is effective.
There's no date yet for the hearing to resume. Once it does, the board will then have 12 weeks to make a decision on Line 9. Arthi Pole, CBC News, Toronto.
Well, participants at the Bust a Move for Breast Cancer event spent the day raising money for a worthwhile cause, but this breast cancer fundraiser involved a little more soul. The Bust a Move for Breast Cancer group is holding its second annual event. Last year, the fundraiser brought in $10,000 from all of its participants. This year, the event had an even bigger crowd than last. People in attendance danced for 3 hours to a Zumba workout, and a good time was had for a great cause.
Just the whole atmosphere, the fact that you can, dance for 3 hours and raise money. I know there's a lot of people that have lost either relatives or friends to cancer, so it kind of hits close to home for a lot of people. But I think this way you also promote a healthy lifestyle.
Organizers hope that the event gets more popular every year and that they can keep donating more to breast cancer. Zumba is so fun.
Yes, I haven't tried it, so looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But for a good cause anyways, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, I'll have sports coming up after the break.
Lots of afternoon sports today and a little evening baseball.
Absolutely. You're back. Can we talk about that for a
Hi.
second? Cheryl's back
Did you
after
miss
a
me?
week of holidays.
Yes.
A little bit. Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah.
But me and Benazzo had a lot of fun last weekend.
Well, there you go.
Big shoes to fill. Okay, here you go. In NHL news, the Winnipeg Jets have placed rookie defenseman Jacob Trouba on injured reserve after he was stretchered off the ice in last night's 4-3 shootout victory over the St. Louis Blues. The 19-year-old crashed into the boards face first in the second period after missing a hit on Blues defenseman Jordan Leopold. It's unclear how long he'll be out of the lineup for, though. Lots of action on the ice tonight. Montreal hosts Nashville, and the Toronto Maple Leafs visit the Chicago Blackhawks. Bragging rights are on the line, as there are many Leaf fans here at Dougal Media. Barry Third is a diehard Chicago fan, so Monday should be interesting. That's for sure. Action this afternoon. Canucks Pens, first period. Alex Edler with a blast from just inside the red line. It handcuffs Marc-Andre Fleury, and then it actually bounces up and over him and into the net. Oh boy, hard to say if that one was worse than the goal Vancouver gave up last weekend against Montreal. But it counts. Edler's second, 1-0 Canucks. Later in the period, Pascal Dupuis with a blast. Vancouver can't clear the puck. Sidney Crosby takes a couple of whacks before putting it past Roberto Luongo. Already his 7th goal of the season. We were tied at 1 after 1. Second period, Pens power play. Crosby to Evgeny Malkin, to Chris Kunitz. That's some nice passing. Kunitz, 4th of the year, makes it 2-1 Pittsburgh. 7 minutes left in the period. Dale Weiss sets up Brad Richardson, who's going to beat Fleury, his 3rd goal of the season. And what do you know? We're all tied back up. It's 2-2. Minutes later, Jannik Hansen's shot is stopped. The rebound trickles through, but watch Thunder Bay's Robert Bortuzzo. There you go, save a sure goal, taking it off the goal line. 3rd period, Kevin Bieksa with a shot from the point gets tipped in front by Zach Kassian. That's a beauty tip. Kassian gets his 1st goal of the year. It's a big one. Put the Canucks on top 3-2. But just 22 seconds later, Crosby to Kunitz. He's stopped, but Oli Mata pots his 1st career NHL goal. We're all even at 3. A minute and a half left in regulation now. Dupuis is going to chip it ahead. And then Chris Tanev takes down Brandon Sutter in front. Oh boy, you know what that means. The most exciting play in sports is the penalty shot late in the game. Sutter in on Luongo, but Lou flashes the leather. Overtime solved nothing to the shootout. Penn's 3rd shooter is Malkin, makes a nice move to beat Luongo, so Ryan Kessler must score to keep it going, but Fleury turns him aside. Pittsburgh takes it 4-3 the final, making Director Blair very happy in the process. Oilers Sens, first period, Edmonton 2-on-1. Jordan Eberle keeps it and fires it over the shoulder of Robin Lehner. His 3rd gives the Oil a 1-0 lead. Then later in the period, Nail Yakupov back in the lineup with a shot stopped by Leonard, but Ryan Nugent-Hopkins pounces on the rebound, scores his 3rd. He'd added an empty netter late. Edmonton gets their 2nd win of the season, 3-1 the final there. Still on the ice, the Lakehead Thunderwolves hockey team lost their 1st game of the season last night. The Wolves lost 5-2 to the Griffins in Guelph. Trevor Gamache and Mike Hammond both tallied for LU, while Justin McDonald made 23 saves in the loss. The rematch goes tonight between the two teams. A little closer to home, the LU volleyball team opened their OUA regular season last night against Windsor. Ryan Panazza was there. He has the highlights.
Thunderwolves coach Chris Green is anxious to find out what his team is made of in the first OUA contest of the season, taking on the Windsor Lancers. First set, Lakehead out to a fast start. Brittany McLeod with the ace. It's part of a 5-0 Wolves run to start things off. Back come the Lancers to tie it at 17 apiece, though, as Mackenzie Coyle paints the far corner. But the opening set belonged to the T-Wolves. Lakehead up by 5 late. McLeod and Sarah Reed meet me at the net. They combine for the stuffed block on Windsor's Shannon Dean. Lakehead takes the opening set 25-19. Second, though, Windsor in command. Some nice defense to counter the LU attack, and then the changeup off the fist of Kayla Sequin. The floater falls between Lakehead defenders. The set goes to Windsor, so we're knotted at 1 apiece. Wolves would fall behind 16-10 in the 3rd, but Jory Damon, in her first game back from a torn ACL, comes off the bench to give her team a spark. Lakehead goes on a 7-1 run that ultimately turns this set around for the home side. They come back to win it 25-23. They lead 2-1. But the 4th was ugly for the Wolves, as we see Damon perhaps still shaking off some rust. Credit Carly Bailey with the point. It's a one-sided set that favors the Lancers 25-14. But the Thunderwolves come out like gangbusters in the deciding 5th, specifically 3rd-year attacker Jennifer Casey. Boom! Next point, paints the back line with another thunderous kill, precision. Lakehead in control 13-7 to match point. Casey, too hot to handle for the Lancers. She was phenomenal in the 5th, willing her team to a 15-10 set win. Lakehead takes it 3-2.
For the past few years, we've always lost in the 5th set, and that taught us so much losing, and I think this 5th set just really shows what we've learned ourselves in the past 2 years, and it really didn't, like, Chris didn't have to say much. We knew what to do.
She's really stepping up. We're not anywhere near finished that process with her. She can be Superman, or she can be way down low. So right now she's playing well and she's staying confident, and that's what I want out of her, and I'm proud of her.
Ryan Bonazzo, TBT Sports.
On the diamond, the Detroit Tigers have Max Scherzer on the mound tonight against the Red Sox in a must-win situation. Boston leads the best-of-7 series 3-2 and can advance to the World Series with a victory tonight. If the Tigers win this evening's game, the 7th and final game of the ALCS will be played tomorrow. Clay Buchholz starts for Boston this evening as well. Last night, St. Louis Cardinals trying to clinch the National League pennant with a win over the Dodgers. Bottom three, Carlos Beltran is going to rip a single to right off Clayton Kershaw. Matt Carpenter, the speedy Matt Carpenter, comes in to score easily. 1-0 Cards. Then it's Yadier Molina at the dish. He singles up the gut. Beltran comes around to plate from second, and they were going crazy in the Gateway City. It's 2-0. Still in the inning, bases loaded. Shane Robinson base hit to right. Yasiel Puig comes up throwing, but it's nowhere close. 2-run score. Yeah, that was not good. He was charged with an error. 4-run inning giving up by Kershaw. That doesn't happen very often. There you go, move to the ninth. Now 9-0 St. Louis. Trevor Rosenthal strikes out Mark Ellis to end the game. The Cards win the NL pennant. They're off to their 4th World Series in the last 10 years. Michael Wacha was also named the NLCS MVP. On the gridiron, Week 7 in the NFL features a couple of big divisional matchups. The Philadelphia Eagles host the Dallas Cowboys in a clash of NFC East teams. There's also a big AFC North matchup between the Ravens and the Steelers, but the big game is a Sunday nighter. Peyton Manning makes his first trip back to Indianapolis since being let go from the Colts prior to last season. That should be a good one. How about some afternoon CFL action? Argos and Blue Bombers late first quarter tied at 3. Ricky Ray finds Andre Dury. He shrugs off a defender and then scores. Touchdown. 26-yard TD, 10-3 Toronto led after 1 quarter of play. Second quarter, Zach Collaros in on short yardage, play action, then dumps it off to Dontrell Inman for a 1-yard major. Argos were up 20-3 at the half. Move to the third quarter, now 23-3. Cue the comeback. Will Ford is going to punch it in from a yard out. Barely, almost gets dragged down, but that cuts the deficit to 13 points. And in the fourth quarter, it's Max Hall airing it out for Rory Collard. Watch this grab. That's a great catch. 27-yard touchdown, but the Argos hung on to win 26-20, the final in that one. Also, Thunder Bay North Stars take on the Fort Francis Lakers tonight as well. SIJHL action battle for first place, so should be a good one.
Snow in the forecast. We'll have weather after the break. I realize I may have scared a couple people by saying snow. It's possible snow.
That dreaded 4-letter word at this time of year.
It is too soon for that. I was just home.
In Toronto.
For the last week, and most of the trees are still green.
A little bit wild.
We're looking at a chance of snow here. Fabulous.
A little bit chilly.
Yeah, let's see how the rest of the country is doing. Vancouver, 10 degrees right now with a cloudy sky. Prince George is at 12. Edmonton, that's rain, not snow, at 12 degrees. Calgary, 12. Saskatoon and Regina both sitting at 10 degrees right now. More rain as we get into Winnipeg, and the temperature starts to dip at 3 degrees there. Churchill, -2. Happy October. Heading into Ontario, Toronto right now is at 7 degrees. Been seeing rain all day. Ottawa, Montreal, similar conditions, thunderstorms there. Quebec City right now is at 12 degrees. Fredericton 12, Halifax 15, Charlottetown 11 with a mostly clear sky, and St. John's 7. Our region overnight temperatures are going to go into the negatives, which is pretty much on par with what we should be seeing this time of year. Mostly cloudy skies throughout the region and a chance of snow up in the Armstrong Greenstone area. Heading into tomorrow, we're going to go hovering just above the 0-degree mark for the most part. Marathon and Sault Ste. Marie going to be nice and warm, hitting the double digits in Sault Ste. Marie there. And again, throughout the region, chance of snow or rain, depending on where you are and depending on how cold it actually gets. But expect to see a bit of precipitation throughout the region. Right now it's 7 degrees, mainly cloudy. The wind's coming out of the southeast at 4 kilometers an hour. Overnight, we're going to go down to a low of 1 degrees. We have about a 70% chance of showers or freezing rain. The wind will come out of the west-northwest, 6 to 9 kilometers an hour. Over the next few days, expect to see, there you go, a chance of showers for tomorrow. Could be freezing rain. Monday, rain or snow. Tuesday, 30% rain or snow. That'll carry on straight through until Thursday. Temperatures look glorious. Who doesn't love seeing negatives in October? I can tell you I do. Last night with the wind chill, we hit -4.
So it's that time of year though, a little bit chilly. The good thing is though, if it does snow, it shouldn't stick around yet. That's the biggest thing.
Here's hoping it doesn't.
Yes, always on the bright side.
Imagine it starts now and it just stays.
Ooh,
straight through to
snow
April.
for Halloween.
There you go. That is all the time we have for tonight. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you again